October 1st, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When you started? All right, here we are at October the 1st, 2023. It's a Sunday morning. I'd say it's approaching 65 degrees out here. Very, very pleasant. What are you whining about? What are you whining about? But anyway, I'm out here shooting the bow. I'm in a seated position this time because I'm trying to get ready for I spend more time getting ready to hunt than I do hunting. I seem to enjoy that aspect of it. We put up another South Texas tripod stand yesterday, but when 5 o'clock rolls out in the morning, I just can't seem to get myself up. I get up about 5:30, but getting in the woods is a different thing. Got a tennis match this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So it didn't make any sense to go hunting, because if I did kill a deer, I'd be messing with the deer and all that, and I wouldn't, so like I said, I spend more time getting ready for it, but I actually enjoy the process of practicing, looking at deer tracks. I know they were there, I can see their tracks, but the actual killing of the deer and all, it doesn't thrill me enough to get me actually in the stand a whole lot. But obviously you can't kill a deer if you're not out there in the stand in the early mornings. Good, and afternoon works depending on where you are. All right, little ones, I got my buddies here gonna help me shoot a little bit. The subject this morning is probably the most difficult subject concerning Jesus that there is, and that is faith. What is faith, and why is it so important to understand what faith is? Another word for faith is trust, that you trust. So if you have a dear friend, it is impossible to have a good relationship if you don't trust that person. Okay, let me get a shot here, and then I'll try to flesh this very difficult concept. But a lot of people, I don't think, understand it. You couldn't have got a better shot than that right there. And to the coyote. Couldn't have got a better shot than that. Okay, I am at a good, I'm approaching 20 yards here. It's a pretty long shot in the bow hunting world with traditional bows. One more at the coyote. I jerked just a little bit, but I still got a center. I got a kill, but I did jerk. And now at the hog. That was a little high. I wasn't proud of that. And I was high on that because I used the same sight picture on the pig as I did on the coyote, and the pig is a lot closer. So it made me shoot high. Let's get this straightened out here. And that's one of the things when you're hunting deer, you get in a kind of a panic, buck fever, whatever you want to call it, and you don't really take time to say, yes, this is where I want to aim, And I want to keep my bow steady and strong, and I do want to shoot it right there. Some people have something called target panic, where they just cannot hold at full draw, and there's a certain, during their draw at some point, they let the bow go, even that they don't want to, nor do they mean to. I am not afflicted with that, thank God. I can hold that draw. When I settle on my sight picture, back to the pig. Now I just shot the coyote at 20 yards, so my arrow gap is going to be lower on the pig now, so that's why I shot high. It's definitely got to be lower, and I've got to make sure this is where I want it, right there. Okay, back to the problem of faith. I have this discussion with people all the time. Faith is something that you believe in. Faith is not something that you know. If you knew something, then faith would not be required. Faith is believing something that you're not absolutely, you cannot know. Let's just take the relationship between the man and the woman. The man and his girlfriend, the man and his wife, the man and his life partner. A man gets to a point to where you've got to make a decision. Am I going to trust this person, or am I going to have faith in this person, even though I don't know what they might do in the future? If you have a relationship with somebody and you do not give them your trust, you don't have much of a relationship. You're all the time thinking, I wonder what they're up to. That's not a good relationship. A good relationship is where both partners have gone ahead and said to themselves, yeah, I'm trusting this person. I'm giving them my heart, even though it's possible that they're going to step on that heart at some time in the future. Now, faith is trusting, but it is not knowing. Now, when I use the word know, I'm using the word know, I'm defining that as absolute knowledge, no possibility of being wrong. Now, there are other variations of the word know. I know. For this discussion, the word know means absolute. There's no possibility of being wrong. Now, when you give your heart to somebody, there's no way you can say, I know for a fact, a 100%, that they're never gonna cheat on me, or some other dastardly thing that you wouldn't do when you've given your heart to somebody. Don't eat he's eating my quiver. Why are you eating my quiver? This is a child here, even though it's an animal. These puppies have given their heart to me. They've known me their whole short life. There's no way that they think in their mind that I'm going to do anything to them. They trust me. And that's why Jesus said that to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must become as a little child. A little child trusts. They trust their parents. But Many times their parents hurt them. Well, guess what? You can beat up on a child, they can molest children, but the children still trust them. Up to a point until they get older and realize, hey man, this ain't right. That's what he meant about trusting, becoming as a little child. So our relationship with Jesus needs to be as a little child. We need to trust or have faith. Even though you don't know if Jesus or another person is going to turn on you, or for that matter, whether there is a Jesus. We have faith. We weren't there. We never saw him. We never talked to him. We've got many different steps to go back before we actually get to him. First-hand accounts, second-hand accounts, third-hand. It's been 2,000 something years now. So now, you know, maybe you do or don't, but in the Bible it says that Abraham, whose name was Abram to start with, trusted God when God told him in a vision or a dream that he would be the father of many nations. And Abraham trusted God. He had faith. He believed. He didn't know it. He didn't know it because he didn't have a son yet. And for that matter, even when he did have a son, he didn't know whether they would end up being many nations, the children of Israel. Now, why am I telling you this? Because if you have believed the lie of the devil that you know a certain thing about you, you know you're saved, for example. You know that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. You know that he is God. Now, all these things I believe, but I believe them by faith. Now, let me put it this way. When you say you know something, if you're using it in the sense that it's 100%, there's no possibility that you're wrong, I say it's a lie of the devil. We are not able to know those things. And if you say you know something in the sense that I'm telling you, that it's 100%, there's no possibility, then I say you're believing one of the biggest lies of the devil. The devil can't, I don't believe he can keep you from believing in Jesus. But he can get you to say you know that you believe. Well, maybe you do know that you believe. You don't even know that. We have it by faith. Faith is defined in the Bible. I'm probably going to get it wrong, but it's basically believing things that haven't happened yet. And what I'm saying is that if you, I'm not saying if you say you know that you're saved or you know that Jesus is real or whatever. I'm not saying you're not saved. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I'm going to put it this way. You are robbing yourself of a certain piece of knowledge that will actually be better than saying that you know it. Now the sun is beating me in the face right now, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go over this way just a little bit so that I can talk to you without having that sun in my face. So what I'm saying, and that's why this is a difficult subject. Don't you bite my bowstring, you little booger. Don't you bite my bowstring. Those little teeth could cut that. All right. I'm saying that if you persist in the lie that you know a certain thing about Jesus, you're robbing yourself of the joys of faith. I might misquote this, but there's one time in the book of Job, Job said something like this, talking about God. And though you slay me, I will trust in you. If a bad thing happens to you, say your car tears up or your transmission goes out and you don't have the money to fix it. Well, faith and trust will see you through that with God, because you have faith that He will see about it, that He will give you a new transmission, or either convince you that walking is a pretty good idea. Either way, that's faith. I'm saying you're robbing yourself of the joys and the benefits of faith by saying that you know these things. Knowing something is not faith. Faith and absolute certainty are not the same thing. You can't both have faith and have absolute certainty. It's a difficult subject. I told you it was a difficult subject, but it's very important. And I would say that one of the biggest lies that the devil has ever told is that we have absolute certainty of our salvation, of our eventual getting into the kingdom of heaven. We don't have that. We say we do because we've been taught that in many churches and sermons and all. If the devil can't get us away from Jesus, I think the second best one is to get us to say things that aren't true and rob us. Okay, I'll say that this is one of the most important things there is out there, and I'll probably be saying it many more times, because I think that 90% of the believers out there, okay, there's the word I was looking for. Are you a believer? 90% of the believers, this is what I was grasping for a few minutes ago in my mind. They call them believers. They don't call them knowers. Why don't they call Christians knowers? They call them believers. Believing is not knowing. Knowing is a totally different thing. Say it again. Why do they call Christians believers? That's the correct word. Believers, I'll make up another word, faithers. Believers believe these things. They trust in these things. If you had 100% absolute certainty of a certain thing, say that you're going to be saved by Jesus and go to heaven, there would be no need for faith. You don't have to have faith if something is a certainty. Okay, I could go on and say it, but I'm going to have to say it again and again and again. This is one of the most difficult concepts, but it's the absolute, I'm saying it's the key to understanding the proper relationship that we would have with Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus Christ. We believe what He said. It's the key. That's why it goes all the way back to Abraham. He believed what God said, and it was counted to him as righteousness. So when we believe what Jesus told us, I am the way, the truth, and the life, then he counts it to us as righteousness. That's what the Bible says and teaches. All right, this is Gardener Israel, and I'm going to get this on TikTok, on YouTube later. Let me tell you, I'm working with this new phone, and I try to put some of these shorter videos up on TikTok. But TikTok fools me a lot of times. I'm trying to post it on TikTok, and they'll throw pictures up there that is not in my wheelhouse to be looking at, you know. And then I'll try to get rid of it on the phone, and I don't know enough about it, but I think the devil is running TikTok also. And I think the devil's running YouTube also. But we're slipping by and declaring the name of Yeshua the Messiah before men. Maybe I'll learn more about it, maybe I won't. All right, this is Gardener Israel signing off.